All right, you feeling good? You feeling it? You feeling the vibes?
Feeling wonderful. Feeling lovely.
Cool. All right. Let's quickly get my. All right. So I just want to say for all you guys watching, listening, whatever you guys are doing, my man bun's back. So there's a
Thank
piece of
God.
there's a piece of my personality that has been gone for the past year or so since I cut my hair. And I feel like I'm like almost fully whole again. You know? Like you ever feel like you're missing something?
Yeah, all the time. A weird one for me is watch. If I'm not wearing a watch, I feel kind of nude.
How crazy. I'm wearing a watch too.
I don't. What's the bit here? Yeah, I know what you mean. Hair actually does that to me. Also, I cut my hair really short, like probably a year ago,
Yeah.
and I felt very timid.
I don't like short hair. I like my
Yeah, I feel.
sides like constantly like very short like a 1 and
Yeah,
my hair on top to be like kind of long to where like I could slick it back, I could make it curly or I could split it down the middle and have my 90 boys hair. I could put a man bun up, I could get my hair braided. You know, I got options, bro.
yeah. I don't really do braids. I got my hair braided like a week ago, and it looked really fucking bad. It's just
Yeah,
'cause- but it's
not not everyone can rock it. You know, that's
I
all
have
it is.
a very large face, and I got to be
No, you
realistic
don't.
about that.
Who told you that?
I looked in a mirror once.
Oh, fuck. I told you not to do that. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to today's podcast. We are the boys formerly known as the Noodle Boys. We are not that guy anymore. We are the 5 years late. I said that very weird, but my energy's all over the place and my man bun's back, and I'm a
You know
little
what?
excited for it.
You uh you like really limped through that intro, but you got to the end, and that's what
I
matters.
I made it. I made it.
Yeah.
Look. If you did it, you just would have stared at the camera.
You
You're
were
you.
a you were a dog hit by a car just crawling onto a sidewalk, but you know what? You're on that
Hey,
fucking sidewalk,
I
and I'm
made it to
proud
the
of you.
sidewalk, and we're
Exactly.
here now. We're here now. Hey, so
What
where'd you
if
get that jacket?
actually a while back, but I haven't worn it yet. It doesn't really like rain around here. I feel weird wearing it if it's not
Is that
raining.
like a? Is that oh not a raincoat? What are they called? It's like a
Like a
windbreaker
Yeah, kind of, but it's like fully made for the rain. Like it has like
for.
the inside is like the netting like you have in like swim trunks.
Oh yeah. Okay, so everybody who's just listening and then you're not watching it on the YouTube channel at 5 years late
Oh, can you
channel.com
hear it?
slash YouTube. Yeah, you can hear it also. But he's wearing a bright red champion windbreaker slash
It's
rain
cute.
jacket. It's pretty cool. I fuck with it.
Yeah, I'm glad you said something. I wasn't gonna bring it up because I wasn't sure if you could hear it. So I'm glad because I don't want anyone to think I'm like eating a bag of chips.
Oh no, no one would be thinking that. Not with you.
Yeah, they would have no reason to think that.
Yeah, they'd be like he would be eating an apple or drinking water. Like that's it.
Clearly, he's eating like a single stalk of celery throughout the
You,
entire episode.
you know, I was actually super hyped this week because my Igor vinyl came in and it was actually a gift to me. I didn't know it was gonna I didn't know I was getting it, but I got the Tyler the Creator Igor vinyl and
Hell yeah!
it goes hard. There's a whole song in there that I didn't even know existed.
Really?
I might, yeah. I don't know the name of it. It was just like I listened to Igor front to back like 5 times, and I've never heard this song on there before. It was just like kind of like melodic and shit. There wasn't a lot of rapping or singing or anything like you usually have Tyler doing. But you know what? Fuck it.
It's very tight. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel very insecure now.
Why?
I got my loud jacket. Does everyone hear this?
Oh, that's cute. That's cute right
Does
there.
everybody hear that?
You know,
I'm gonna just ruin the audio like this.
yeah. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I mean,
And
it's
try not
fine.
try not to breathe too much too. I hate it when you breathe. We just get
No,
to the point
people.
where we're like a fucking
I'll just. What if I just don't talk?
yeah. Just don't talk. I'll talk for the both of us.
All right. Can I just chill here?
Yeah, just chill here. Hey, so everybody watching and or listening, today's podcast is proudly sponsored by bad audio noises from my partner who is texting.
I'll be playing on my
Um,
phone.
Male or female, I'm not here to judge to say who he's texting. To the bi community,
You know what?
the
That could be.
LGBTQ plus community.
That was a good thing to say because it could be interpreted as homophobia or me just being messy.
Messy and you, those are two things I would never
Actually,
even
well,
think
no,
of
I'm never.
combining.
Never mind. I'll explain afterward. But anyway,
No,
moving
I'm
on.
the messiest bitch you'll ever meet.
No, I think you
Me?
genuinely like bits doing. We're not doing bits anymore. I'm not. I'm not really messy. There was one. Uh, there's a little bit of messiness a while back, but aside from that, there's. I'm a very regular, very non-messy person. But my
Ah,
man
me?
here,
Me?
yeah,
I
you,
don't do it on purpose, man. I react to situations, or I used to
you're a
react to
sloppy
situations.
bitch.
All right, good. That's a better way of putting it. Like I was young, I had a tough upbringing, and it made me make some questionable choices. Nobody was hurt. There's nothing illegal that happened. I was just a little bit of a little bit of a dick.
Yeah, but you know
I'll
what?
put
I was your friend anyway, and that's I think that shows what a good person I am.
Yeah, that I would allow you to be around me just shows how good I am of a friend and I'd say colleague, if anything.
Yeah, I
Fellow
think of you.
fellow dumbass in the school of dumbass right here.
Yeah, I respect that. I I do think it should be more acceptable to just be dumb.
I feel like it kind of is like the happiest people I've ever met were like kind of just dumb, which
Yeah,
I'm not saying like I'm smarter than them, but like they just definitely were just like dumb, but they
yeah,
fucking were the coolest, chillest, happiest people I know and or I knew. I don't really know them anymore. It's been like a while, but from what I remember is that they just kind of always seem happy. I mean, of course they get sad and shit, but
yeah.
like
Everyone does.
everybody gets sad. I mean, if you don't, something's wrong with you. You go see a doctor.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't know. I remember there's this dude Joaquin Castro that like or Julian Castro that like tried to run for president,
Mm,
and he gave like a speech like a little over a year ago where he said something. It was weird. It was like, the currency of the future is brain power. It was like something weird like that, and like people were kind of pointing out that it sounds like a fucking. It's like just a freakish thing to say, but it's also like everyone has somebody they know and love a lot that's
yeah,
dumb as shit, and that's
yeah,
okay. Like it's okay to be dumb as shit. You can.
yeah,
You still deserve to be happy.
yeah. That doesn't mean that people need to treat you poorly.
Some of my best friends and podcast hosts are dumb as shit, and I love them anyway.
Yeah, I remember you used to have a podcast before. So I'm glad you're talking about that.
Yeah, I'm glad I got to get that off my chest.
Yeah, cause some of my friends and some of my podcast hosts I've been around were just completely, they would
Handsome.
disregard their health and their well being.
I would never do that.
They would just fall
Can I?
over sometimes and they
Can
can't get up like a turtle.
I can get up. I've always gotten up.
I wasn't
However,
saying you. I didn't say no names.
however, however, I did feel I'm pretty sure I was gonna die about a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I there was a period of my life where I have like a weird work schedule, so I was doing, you know, I would get to work a little after 6 a.m.,
Mm-hmm.
work until about 10:30, and
Yes.
then go to school. And then once I was done with school, I would get back to work at about 1 and work till about 4:30.
You are on crack.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
it wasn't a good schedule, but the way that I uh like dealt with that, the way that I like built, you have to eat, you have to stay awake and shit, but I don't really sleep very well. So instead what I would do is I would just eat a ton of fast food and drink about 2 Red Bulls a day to
Good
supplement.
lord.
Yeah, and I was doing that to supplement the fact that I was sleeping 3 or 4 hours a night, and I started getting really bad migraines to the point where I would like throw up sometimes, and I couldn't really see straight. And then the pandemic started, and I stopped doing that.
Well, good for the pandemic. One
Yeah, I
good thing
mean,
that
I
happened.
I didn't die. That's the good news. I think I could probably do that another year or so before like my heart gives out. My theory is that I'm evolved. Like I'm the next stage in evolution, so I just don't need sleep.
You personally think you're the next stage in evolution?
Yeah, I think I'm the missing link.
I think I'm gonna start calling you babe.
That's cool.
I'm just gonna do that. You like
Why?
that? I don't know. I feel like it.
I mean, that's fine. I think men should be more affectionate toward each other.
I saw this video on Twitter where it was this I think I don't know if they're like in a sports team or something,
Mm,
but there's just a bunch of dudes talking, and then one of them's like, "Oh, we our kids play together, we go bowling together, we go gambling together. Like, why can't when I have like an emotional issue, why can't I go to you guys?" And then it started going to this greater conversation about men and safe spaces for like them to talk to each other in, and I kind of don't have that just because of how I am personally. Like I want to
yeah.
talk, and it kind of like with some most of the friends I've had, and I will those conversations just happen. I mean, if you're a guy and you're not having those conversations, I feel like there's something wrong, you know?
Yeah, but also that's more normal than you like. We're not like the way that we talk to each other and are sort of open with each other. I think is a product of the fact that we've known each other since we were like 13. But like
That's true.
most like male friendships don't get to a point where you can really be that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like there's just too much of a like discomfort around it. And like
I think
honestly,
that's
I wouldn't be like that with you if I didn't know you so fucking long. I didn't really learn to be that way until I was like 20 or something.
same. I wasn't like that till I was and I don't know, like maybe 3 4 years ago,
Yeah,
which is crazy.
before that I was a Neanderthal, and you know, you learn and you grow, and you become less of a fucking caveman, which is cool. And we encourage that here.
Maybe we should shift our podcast to advice for teenage dumb fuck boys or something. You know, like maybe it could be like
I mean, men in general, maybe.
maybe men in general, but like the younger ones that
Yeah.
are hot headed. You know, I had this situation come up at work where there was this guy who got into like a heated argument with his um manager, and
Mm,
they're not in my department, but like I've always had this thing where I don't really fuck with like alpha dudes.
yeah.
Like I don't like that like off putty personality, you know? It kind of
Yeah.
just like it makes me like feel like I'm smelling shit. Like
Yeah.
that's the
If
closest thing I can like connect that to.
Yeah, I also have like a like the fight or flight response. I guess is kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
Is kind of how I would describe it. But I just have like I just want to hit you. Like if you're
Yeah.
that type of, it makes me want to hit you.
Yeah, dude. Like I get like as a guy, I don't know if all guys are like this, so I'm just gonna speak my from my own personal experience.
It's a type of, like we all know them.
Yeah, but like I get like being a guy is supposed to be about like, you know, being a leader, or like being strong or smarter, stuff like that.
Hmm.
I remember the turning point in my life. Actually, this is one thing I've never talked about on the podcast. I remember I was like 5 or 6, and I was watching the Power Rangers. And at that time, I was watching Sesame Street, and I was deciding what my favorite color is, right? So I was watching the Power Rangers, and obviously everybody knows the Power Rangers, but you have this thing where they're color coded, right? So you got a red guy, you got a blue guy, or sometimes the girl's blue, but it's red, blue, yellow, black, and white, sometimes green, right? Those are the colors.
Yeah.
So I'm 5 or 6, and the Sesame Street earlier in the day was like, "Oh, what's your favorite color?" And me being 5 or 6, like, what is my favorite color? Thinking about it, I'm thinking about it, and I watch Power Rangers later on the day, and I see the red Power Ranger like power up, and he has like this phoenix thing come out of him. It's like fire, and it's red, and he starts swinging his sword around. It's really cool, but then also he's red, and he's the leader. So then automatically, I still remember it vividly. I was like, my favorite color is red. I want to be the leader. Like just those two things have been stuck in my head, like has been anchors of my personality. Is that I want to be some kind of leader, but like not like the overly douchey kind, but like oh he knows more, and then we should listen to him because we respect him kind. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I
Because
get you.
like going back to that guy, um, the manager was telling him that he had made some mistakes and that he was trying to show him how to not make the mistakes so that he can work better, because the manager's like, my job is to make sure you do your job good. So if you're messing up, it's my fault, so he's trying to he's being a good manager from what I see. I don't know if that's what you think, but that's how I see it. the
Yeah.
guy the guy was like, no, I don't want your help. Like, no, I don't need your help. Like, no, don't talk to me. I don't want to listen to you talk to me.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, no, I'm trying to talk to you. I just want to explain it to you. But the guy didn't want help because he felt like he didn't need help because he was being overly prideful.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It just makes me mad. And I
Yeah,
don't
there's like an insecurity that leads to that. Like
is
it,
it,
it
it that's
people
what it
feel
is,
like they're
right?
being like emasculated and being like um I don't know. It's also just a general like sensitivity to criticism where
Yeah,
people
I
end
mean,
up
maybe
being
he
like
has
that.
like problems at home or something, or he grew up weird or some shit,
Hmm.
which I get, but like once you start getting into your 20s, you start realizing what those things are. And we definitely talked about this very specific thing before. Like, you start realizing what your issues were growing up, and then
Yeah.
this is the point where you start changing to fix it. So
Yeah.
if you're like in your mid 20s and you're still like that, or you're at least like
Yeah, you got to start
not even,
working on growing out of it.
yeah, because man, that shit just makes me mad. Like, I don't really get mad a lot, but that's the only time I really want to hit another dude, is when I see that. It's like, bro, they're just trying to talk to you and help you, but you're just being like overly like fucking chest up and shit. Like, I don't need your fucking help, bro. I don't need no one's help. Like, I'm the smartest motherfucker here. Don't fucking tell me what's, bro. Man. See, I'm saying bro a lot more because it's making me mad. But then no, that guy got fired, which was expected. But and also I found out that that guy did some other crazy shit before he even started working with us, because he was friends with another coworker I have. I'm not gonna get into too much detail with that, but this guy's
I'll probably ask you
yeah.
afterward.
You can ask me that later. I'm not gonna specify any of those things. But yeah, I mean, there's like the whole like personality like kind of thing, the alpha, beta, omega kind of thing. That
Oh
like
yeah.
what do you know about that? Like, is that even like science based? Because I heard
It's
that
pseudoscience. It's
because like
basic. The whole idea of like an alpha male came from this one study of wolves.
yeah.
It was a study of wolves, and they basically found that like there would be certain wolves that would like become commanders of the pack, right? The issue though is that the wolves that were being studied in like very harsh captivity. They weren't being studied in nature. And if you study wolves in nature, that sort of structure doesn't exist. And people will kind of use that idea of like an alpha male to push this sort of like Jungian like archetype bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember you there was Joe Rogan, and I don't know if you remember this guy on YouTube. He would make videos like explaining he was a college humor guy. He had glasses and he was blonde hair with the comb over. He would make
Oh,
videos about like
Adam
Anna
Conover.
Conover. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
we said at the same time. Wow. Yeah. So he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and they were
Hmm.
talking about like alpha males and stuff. And then the Adam Conover was saying something along the lines of, "Oh, uh, alpha males aren't real. You know,
Yeah.
that's not like a that's not based in like biology. Like, there's no like that's not a real thing." But then Rogan was arguing that it is real, or that there is a sense of realness to it socially, maybe not biologically.
Hmm.
Which I mean, technically that can be true, because if like there's like a unanimous agreement of a thing, it technically becomes real, you know?
Yeah, it's like a concept. I
Yeah.
think the best way to think of it is like, you know how like with the wolves, the like the control that wasn't calculated, that like when people use that as a metaphor, right? Like the idea of like an alpha male, in regards to like these wolves, and they make the connection between these wolves and like certain men having a specific role, like a leadership role within a community. The thing that they don't factor in is the fact that they're in captivity, right? That's the control that needs to be accounted for.
Yeah.
So with us, when we talk about the idea of like an alpha male in the context of like a society or a community or a family, the control, the constraint, the captivity that we need to account for is the fact that we have a society with much more like complex gender roles and expectations, specifically um, related to gender, right?
Yeah.
So there's certain behaviors that are adapted over time. If you're raised in a specific society as a man or as a woman or whatever the fuck, you're going to adapt certain behaviors because you learn that's what you're supposed to do.
And if you think about it, if you have a female acting like as the alpha, like acting in the way that a alpha male would,
Hmm.
she wouldn't have that like positive, like leader, powerful thing
Yeah,
go to her.
exactly.
The girl gets the negative
Yeah,
word, you
you're
know?
supposed to be submissive. You're supposed to be
Yeah.
quiet,
So
gentle, all that shit.
once a girl becomes like that, it becomes extremely problematic. They start calling her names, just like, you know, when you have a player, but then you have the girl version of that, which is a
Slut, and
yeah,
it's considered like negative.
yeah, it's
Whereas like
negative.
if you're a man, you can just fuck whatever, and people think it's
I
fine.
mean, I've heard people call men sluts, like in a
Yeah, but it's
negative
like
way.
it's like endearing. I think it's usually.
No,
I
no, no.
mean,
I've heard it to where like, oh, he's a fucking slut, like, you know, like in a
oh
bad
yeah,
way. But I don't. I that's not something that's not common though. Like I'm saying I've heard it, but I
yeah,
100% can say that's not common. Like usually, if a guy does like that a lot with girls, then there's a positive. Like he gets raised up. Like he's cool. He's better.
yeah.
You know, girl does it opposite. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's how it is, which is crazy. Maybe we need to figure out what our niche is, like who we can help.
What can we help?
Who can we help? Who
Um,
who do you think Brandon and Jonathan can help in the world that we live in? What kind of person you think would regularly come back to listen to this content that we're delivering? Like who? Who do you think?
so I think we're in an interesting spot because we don't have one specific area. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
kind of have your, excuse me, holy shit. Um, you have like your areas that you have a lot of, like you have a very deep understanding of certain things, like specifically like technology. Um, I'm obviously a little bit more acquainted with like politics and theory and shit like that. So it kind of just depends on the situation, I guess, and like who you want to come to. But I think in that sense, also we can kind of put our brains together, and even if it's shit that we don't necessarily have any expertise in, like we can still kind of come together and figure something out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like because we can come at like topics with a different mindset, it might allow us to like in a group like deliver good content, or not even content, or like something that's worth being listened to. Like there's
Yeah,
like
at least consider it. You know what I mean?
yeah, 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 yeah.
I think yeah, we each have a half a brain cell. We can rub them together, and it's like we have one smart person. I think we could be helpful.
Yeah, definitely. I agree on that. I definitely agree. I always I know for sure that like with that Power Ranger thing I said earlier, that like I always wanted to be in a leadership role. Like
Hmm.
I like the idea of it, but then well, because like at my job I'm a supervisor, so I technically am in a leadership role. But one problem I have is like with not being strict, but like I'll fall into like the alpha thing, but like not like that's who I am, but like my brain thinks that's how I should be, but then I don't like it. So then like I fight against that within myself in being a leader, and it's like hard finding that balance. Like
Yeah.
do I like be kind of like a dick a lot so that they're not too comfortable around me, or should I be like a little more friendly and then like allow them to make mistakes but then show them how to do it right? You know?
It's definitely the second one. I think the first thing, like the whole like beta male shit, alpha beta male bullshit, like it is more than anything, I think people trying to create a sort of philosophical justification for being an asshole or for
Yeah,
just
it's
otherwise really awful shit. It's like people will kind of do, like I mentioned, like Carl Jung, and they'll kind of do that with him, where they'll use like these like Jungian archetypes to kind of explain away existing like social hierarchies.
yeah.
And I think the alpha beta male type shit is used in the same sense, where it's like if you're an asshole and you're a shitty boss, which is something that's like just in our specific economic system, like that's something you're going to see a lot, is people being really shitty and abusive
Yeah.
to their
Cuz
employees.
cuz they get that like power trip
Yeah,
from
exactly.
being
And
like a
it's
manager or a boss or like an owner of a company or something.
yeah, and it's a way of like giving some sort of like, philosophical validity or ideological validity to what is actually just like your own sort of
Like
abusive and like shitty
insecurities.
personality. Yeah, and
Yeah.
your own need to like exert power over people.
I don't think that's cool. Like one example I have is like no, it's really not. Like
Yeah, it's not. It was just a funny. It was just a
I'll,
funny
I'll
thing to
I'll
say.
have like I'll have guys that are that alpha male type thing, like that work under me, and I could tell they don't want to like listen
Hmm.
because sometimes like when I was a little younger, like I was working out a lot, so I had like a physique to me. I'm not generally a super tall guy, but like I had a lot of muscle when I was younger. So whenever I would have like other young guys that are like alpha male or whatever, there was always like a little bit of a pushback when I would tell them what to do, you know?
Hmm.
So the one thing I always do is I try and find like some like common ground we have, like a small convo, like a light, like what's it called? Small talk. I would have a light small talk with them just to see where they're at
Yeah.
and be like, look, I'm just trying to help you out. Like, I need you to do this and that, and then it's all right. It's all right, cool. Have a little joke. Sometimes I'll poke at them when they're pushing back too much because you kind of have to like flex on people, which is not it's not cool. It doesn't sound good, but like if you're at a place of work and then somebody's like constantly like not listening to you or ignoring you, you have to do something, you know? You
Yeah.
can't just be like you can't be a pushover,
All right. All right.
especially
You know what? You're fucking up. Go give me the punishment stick.
bah, bah. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's
I
it's such
I
a
wasn't
weird
supposed to talk about this like on mic, but you know, Brandon does have a bat with nails, and anytime any of his underlings are misbehaving at work, he does hit them with it.
thing. No,
Just think everyone should know that.
I'm actually the nicer one. I'm the supervisor and then I have a manager. Sometimes I might be too lenient, but it's also from like a sense of laziness too. It's like
Respect.
I don't feel like being assertive right now. But then other
Yeah,
times like
because it is, dude. Even working with kids, I don't like fucking doing that. It sucks.
yeah,
It's not
yeah.
even
That
just laziness. It just
sometimes
fucking
it feels like
sucks.
that too. Sometimes I feel like working with kids. But well, it kind of is sometimes because I'm now growing older, so a lot of my newer people are like 19 or 18 or 20, and then
Mm.
that before that was like a lot closer to me,
Oh,
but
that's
it's not
weird.
is not that I'm gonna turn 26. So when I was 21 and I was talking to 26-year-old, there was definitely I could feel like
A
oh this
gap.
is yeah gap, and now
This is an
I'm
old person.
feeling that I'm talking
I
to like
know.
my 18-year-old like
I don't.
freaking
I only feel that now with my cousins. I'm in a weird spot with like my job because everybody I work with is fucking old. I'm the
oh,
youngest person in my job. Everybody
yeah.
else is like, late 40s and up. So I don't. It's like a completely different type of gap. Like they're just like talking about like retiring and talking about their various health conditions.
Their grandkids and shit.
Yeah, talking about their grand. That's so like something I hear about a lot is like, oh, my grandkids your age. It's like Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, I'm a
I
baby.
now we're in that period from like we're going from like young adults to like regular adults
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I mean,
or
in any
or
in any
older
real
young
sense,
adults.
I think in any real sense, we are not young adults. We are both fully adults. It's
You're
just we
we're
feel
adulting
like
out
it.
here.
Yeah, we just feel like it because everything's so fucking weird and uh uncertain. So it's like,
Speaking of barely becoming an adult, I just made like I'm actually super proud of it. So like I don't care if I ever get made fun of this. Like I'm proud of me. One big thing about me is if you're not somebody like I like really love, like I probably don't care about your opinion. You know?
mhm.
That's probably a good thing. But point is, um I made this is gonna sound so boring. I'm just gonna make it as fast as possible. I made a budget Google Sheet thing that analyzes every
Hell yeah.
category I have, and it like adds things together, and it shows me how much I have to pay in bills and how much I pay in like bullshit, and then how much paychecks, and I like did all this cool shit, and then I was like, if I stick to this plan, I could save up this much money, and then I'll have this much money by this time, and then like to do I've never done that. I'm gonna turn 26 this month. Ah, God,
No,
this
respect.
but I
That's
mean,
a
I'm finally
very
doing it. Some
it's
people
a
never do that shit.
yeah, it's a very big step and it's important.
I
So,
need money. I want more money, so I
me
have to
too.
learn how to use money. Also, I want to know how
Joe
to do
Biden
stocks.
Joe Biden, send me some fucking money, you piece of shit.
Yeah, Joe Biden. Ah, they folded too. Now we're gonna get 1,400, not two
Yeah, it's
G's.
1,400 and they abandoned the minimum wage hike. The minimum wage hike was already shitty. It was supposed to be $15 by 2025 and they were
That's
like,
not even. That's not
we're just
even
going to
like.
give up."
That's not even anything now. Like, what's $15 at this point? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, to be fair, there's still a lot of people out there that probably don't make $15. So yeah, it would be
Yeah,
better.
especially outside of California. But
Yeah,
it's still
but
like it's such a fucking and it's also like because so basically like the parliamentarian they're going to go through a reconciliation process and the Senate parliamentarian ruled that it doesn't qualify as part of reconciliation, which
yeah.
is already bullshit. But it's also like the vice president like presides over the Senate. So like it could be overturned. You can just overturn that decision, but they're not doing it.
Oh, sick. Well, fuck
It's
those people.
it's really tight.
That's cool. See, this is why everybody listening, we're gonna change the entire format of our podcast. We're gonna become a young man guide to adult man. Yeah.
I
See,
guess
this
I don't think
you're
I
the
don't
word guy. You do the word part. I
if you send us money, we will teach you stupid like basic shit. We should do the honestly like the kind of like Jordan Peterson market, like where you just do thing where you're just like, hey, make your bed and clean your room, walk upright.
Yeah, that's
Like,
exactly
what
what
the
I've been
fuck?
saying.
This guy's a genius. Like we could do that. Genuinely, we could
No,
fucking do that.
if you think about the dichotomy between man and woman, the I used to watch a lot of Jordan Peterson. I
No,
don't.
he's the Kermit the Frog. He's like it's like Canadian Kermit the Frog.
You do it. You do it.
It's like when I think about the way that young men are raised today, they're lacking responsibility, and sometimes
That's exactly what it's like.
it makes me cry.
I
That guy
I
fucking
get
sucks.
I get really interested in these kinds of guys because
Me
like
too.
I feel like there's some things that Like there's like
Yeah.
inklings of truth in there, but then also like I see a lot of not cool shit. It's like
Yeah. Well,
70% not cool
with
shit, 30% like, oh, this is kind of smart.
yeah,
Good.
well, because what they do, the thing about them, like people like Peterson specifically, is that he is like he's like filling a void that is left by liberalism, because like you have just widespread like economic inequality that's getting worse and worse and worse, and that includes for like young white men. You know what I mean?
Young
And
white man.
like, yeah, and the thing is like there's like an actual explanation for that, which is that your boss controls every aspect of your life and you're paying half of your income every month in fucking rent. But there's nobody like in like the Democratic Party, aside from like Bernie maybe, there's no one really addressing that. Like nobody's coming at it from a class perspective. And so the only thing left is this sort of like socially reactionary perspective that Peterson offers, where you're saying like, oh, every like he's at the very least acknowledging that there's like a fundamental issue in how our society is structured, and it's not a correct
Yeah.
critique. It's coming at it. It's like obfuscating the actual like class dynamics, and instead pointing to petty personal grievances based on identity. But he is at the very least giving people an acknowledgement that like shit is fucked up, and that includes if you're a white man. And it's also like there's a specific brand of like progressive liberalism that exists now that's entirely identitarian. And so if you're like a black person or a woman or a Hispanic person or a gay person, whatever you may be, you're getting the explanation that like your life is shitty and untenable because you're black or because you're a woman, because you're Hispanic, whatever the fuck. And that's like partially true, and it's not, and that's not the whole picture. There's also a class dynamic, but you at least have some explanation. Whereas like that identitarian framework, if you're a young white man, there's nothing that it's offering you, because it's telling you that you are privileged and therefore you should
Mm.
be happy. Even if you are downwardly mobile and you have no prospects for the future and you're worse off than your parents, you should just be fine. And that's where people like Peterson come in.
This th- this is the market we need to get into, but like not the like the fucked up part. Like
Hmm.
I just want to like genuinely like give people, not people. Only person I could really help are like young men, like if I was being honest. Like I
Yeah.
can't, like I don't, or like general being human things that like anybody can learn from, but like I can't specify any like problem towards like specific women problem. Obviously, respect women or boys that are with women. If you don't know how to make her feel nice, you could just ask her. It's not that hard. And if she's like the kind of woman that doesn't tell you and tries to make you guess, then I don't know what to tell you, man. Seeing stuff like that. And then it could be funny. I think.
Yeah.
I think it could be really funny. I think we could just be really stupid about it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
it
Should
ti-
anybody listen to us?
title
Like,
title of the podcast will be like
what?
oh, I can't. I don't know how to say that. I don't know.
No, no, no. Just say it. Just say it.
Title of the podcast. You ready?
Yeah. Let me hear it.
Two dumbasses find clit. No, no, no. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
You know what? Wait, is it? Do you mean like two dumbasses, or is this like addressed to dumbasses?
That's for you to
That's
find.
for you
That's
to
for you to
decide.
write it. That's for you guys to decide. A lot of guys don't even know what that is. Like, what is he talking about? I feel like I want to be the podcast that all the high school kids listen to. If you can get the high schoolers to listen to your shit, they make the stuff explode and get really popular. Do you
No,
remember?
I.
Damn, Daniel.
Oh yeah. No, we're gonna exclusively appeal to soccer moms.
17
I didn't like that look.
MILFs.
You know what? Yes.
And that's where we're gonna end our podcast.
Yeah, you know what the thing is? I'm trying to get my bills paid. So I'll be at the retirement home in my Thaddeus shorts.
We're trying to figure out what's best for the podcast and what's best for you guys. We are 5 years late. I'm Brandon. That is my boy.
Jonathan.
He did that really slow. You guys can catch us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. We're going to be on every place that has podcasts.
FBI's most wanted list.
We're gonna try and get on Apple Podcasts. There's a little process to that, but we're gonna get on that real soon. If any of you guys are on there and you want to listen to us on there, but thank you guys for listening. I'm Brandon. That's Jonathan. Like he said, and we'll see you guys next time. We were two dumbasses, and we'll see you in the future.
And we're
Deuces.
gonna find the clit. Peace.